yo.
Crash and flow.
What's going on, people? This is episode 449 of Crash and Flow. My name is Yassine, and with me, my brother from another mother, Syed Raza.
Hey, yo.
Hey, man, how you doing?
Alhamdulillah, man.
What's going on with you?
Fudge. My kid fell and got swollen knees.
Oh, boy.
We did Eid. Did you do Eid?
Yeah, yes. I mean,
What did you do? Did you kill something here or back home?
oh, like a Qurbani.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
just money.
Money, yeah. I sent some money around.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel it's one of the most weirdest and fun shopping experiences. Like, what countries do I want to...
Send this meat to.
Do you feel that way when you do it, or...
Not really, no. No.
I get so excited. I'm like, what is in East Africa? This says
Right.
East Africa. I'm looking up countries. I imagine the type of goat they'd get.
Bro, I mean, it was been rough this year, so I just was like, what's the cheapest country I can send meat to?
It's
That's
you
what
can
I'm gonna
still
do.
have fun. Like, I was looking at the Tigray region,
Yeah.
and then East Africa, and I'm like, how skinny is this goat for $80? Like, what are we even talking about? What's an
Right.
$80 goat look like?
Yeah.
So yeah, did that. Alhamdulillah. Did a Father's Day show, which was fun on Saturday.
Woo.
I had my alternator fixed that morning, and my car died on the Gardiner. And probably the worst. Like, it's. I haven't had
First of all,
yeah.
for people who don't know what the Gardiner is, the highway, the Gardiner doesn't have
Shoulders.
emergency shoulders. So if you break down, you're blocking a lane. Now, because the highway is suspended and it was built back in the 1970s when whoever was running the country at that time thought that money is just coming in. So it's just gravy, baby. Let's just make something stupid like a suspended highway. And so they did it. They didn't even put shoulders on it, which, by the way, in the wintertime, when the snow plows the snow into the corners and then it freezes overnight, it creates a beautiful ramp. For once every winter, at least, there's someone who slams into the snow pile, gets launched over the railing and over on the other side.
Bro, I'd like to watch that video. And I've seen a couple of fun Gardiner accidents and stuff.
So anyway, what I'm trying to point out over here is that the Gardiner Expressway, just the highway itself, doesn't have shoulders. And say it broke down on a ramp into that thing.
It was interesting because everybody was doing 120 and I was doing 120 prior to this. The car just all of a sudden is a neutral, right? It's just a neutral now. And I'm basically trying to get to the exit going nothing.
Yeah.
And I realized at one point it's not going to happen.
Not enough momentum.
I just tried to pull over to the side, and it was such a weird spot where I stopped and I realized the cars behind me they're going to only see me for 2 seconds. The rest of the next 25 minutes was me with 2 flashlights with my hazards on, in like pointing them to the back and just turning them on and off. So these cars that are coming at me.
Yeah, because you don't even have power to put four-way flasher on.
Bro, yeah, it's not doing enough where the hazards are gonna.
Oh, okay.
These cars are just coming too quickly.
Yeah.
And the hard part is, like, if a car is coming and it gets out of the way of the next one behind it.
It's even worse. Yeah.
I had at least 3 of those.
Almost.
It's not. I would have placed a bet. Like, I bet on my life that's gonna hit me.
Yeah.
That's how positive you are, to the point where I messaged my brother and I was like, and my sister, these are the videos I want you to show my son in case something was happening.
Damn.
Yeah, my phone died almost immediately after calling the CAA.
Oh, no.
Where all I messaged my wife was, car died, I called CAA, and I sent her a live location.
Yeah.
And phone's dead.
Damn, bro.
So it was real, where I'm like, oh, this is... Also, I felt like everything was culminating to me dying right here. Because I had been... Dude, last podcast we were talking about, videos I'm making for my kid.
Yeah.
Is all of it just making sense? I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, this is when
Well, it was also like
when
you
check
see multiple cars almost hit you, and this is just the first 5-6 minutes, and CA according to them is going to be 35 to 40 minutes.
Yeah.
It's just like you're doing the math to how long you'll be able to be in this car.
Yeah.
And every car that goes by that barely misses you moves your car to the point where I got out. And that's not what you necessarily want to do.
I don't know. I feel like maybe you just hang on the other side of the guardrail. Just reduce the amount.
So I'm on the guardrail now, right?
Yeah.
Because I have enough time to do all of this.
Yeah.
Is try out. And then all the cars that are moving on the other side, they move as much as they move the car, they move a person just as much.
Yeah.
Where I was just like, and then I started just laughing, right?
Yeah.
I got in the car and I was just like, just clickety clicky. It was one car hit me. I'm just like honking.
Yeah.
And then it's honking back. I'm not trying to get in a honk argument. Like it thinks I'm honking at him for almost hitting me, so he's honking back at me.
Right.
Like, nah. Fuck you.
What a reaction for this
So
guy.
many people honked at me.
Really?
Yeah, it's thankfully.
It's like I'm not trying to be here, guys.
Yeah, this is not a planned execution of how I want to commit suicide.
Right.
Thankfully, a tow truck noticed me. It was somewhat noticeable. And then he parked his tow truck in front of mine. He turns his hazards on. He's like, I'm not going to be able to stay for long. But he's like looking, he's like, this is a really bad spot. I was like, yeah. He's like,
Wait, how come he just didn't tow your car?
because he's not the CAA.
Yeah, but couldn't you just tell him to take it?
But then the CAA is going to come.
Yeah, who gives a shit? Just get you out of the
I just told him to just stick around. Let me sit in your car. 'Cause you got flashers on. Like he's got these, his looks like a freaking police truck. So I got in his car.
Okay.
And I charged my phone for a minute. And then I got to call CAA. And fortunately, there were only like 5. When he came, they were only like 5 to 10 minutes away.
Okay.
So it was just like, all right, that's
Right.
Can you mind sticking around? He's like, no, I'll stick around. He went outside for a smoke. I was like, alhamdulillah. And I noticed then there was a woman in the front seat. This guy he rides around with his lady friend while picking up cars and dropping them off.
Bro, it gets lonely,
Dude.
right? And then here's the thing. It's better to do it with your wife than
Yeah.
get tempted on the road.
I guess so. And you're at a truck stop and you're
Right?
like,
No, I've actually watched TikTok or Instagram videos
Yeah.
of like their duos, like the husband and the wife both drive the 18-wheeler. And
I
they
saw that.
They
Yeah, I've
just
seen
like they just spot, and they even have a dog and a cat in the back, a microphone. They got a microwave. They got a whole tub. There's so much shit that's inside that truck.
Yeah.
But just tag team and make money that way.
Yeah. I don't. This guy seemed to be the worker.
Yeah.
She wasn't doing. She was just hanging out. She was actually super chill. She's like, bad spot. And I was like, yeah. She's like, they can't see you coming. Oh my god! And then like a couple almost hit my
Right,
car while.
yeah.
But thankfully, alhamdulillah, CA showed up. I love CA, man. They've saved my life like multiple times. This is if you're one of those dudes that buys a car and rides it into the ground.
Yeah.
You gotta have CAA.
Okay, may I do some suggestions?
Yeah.
Now, okay. Number 1, please go on Amazon and purchase some flares.
Yeah, flares.
So purchase some
You got
flares.
flares in your car?
My dad does.
Do you?
No, I don't.
Okay, keep going with your suggestions.
All right, so definitely,
That's a good
definitely,
suggestion.
definitely
It's-
run flares.
Yes.
And then buy one triangle, like the
Yeah.
reflective triangle, or
Yep.
at least 1 or 2. But like the flares are unmistakable because it is purple how bright they are.
Yeah.
You just pop it and just leave it on the ground like 2
Bro.
cars ahead. No one wants to drive on top of fire.
100%.
So just
I
go
needed
and buy
fire.
That.
That's
Yeah.
what I needed.
Yeah,
at that
that's what I'm saying.
moment.
Just go buy,
Yeah.
go get some.
Even this
flares.
guy's flashing lights. Every now and then, a car would almost hit us.
It's also because he's in front of your car.
I know, but that's safer for him.
No, I understand. I'm not saying he should have done anything
He's like, I got a
differently.
lady in here, bro.
Right?
I've got everything I own in this.
Yeah, I'm not saying that he should have done anything differently. It's just that it reduces the effectiveness because on the highway that 6 meters makes a difference on their reaction time.
No, but
Yeah,
alhamdulillah,
get the flares.
I was able to get the car to the mechanics. I was able to charge my phone in the CAA and Ubered home and straight up just held my kid's foot while sleeping. This is just it's better than your wife, trust me. Holding your kid's foot is
Yeah.
great.
Mhm.
And honestly, like I'd somehow in 25 minutes I had come to terms with like this isn't gonna.
Yeah, it might go.
It was so weird, dude.
Yeah.
I've been in weird situations, but never for like a 25-minute period
Yeah.
of watching things almost hit you.
Yeah, you get to it because with that length of time, you get like the initial spike, and
Yeah.
after that, you're starting to like work through your situation.
Bro,
So it needs to come down
At some point, I was also like, well, when my wife finds my Fitbit, I don't want her to see me panicked. I'm just like, I'm actively. It's so weird. I'm calming myself down.
Right.
So for when my wife turns my phone on and
Yeah.
she's like, at least he seemed calm. And I found myself laughing continuously, like multiple. I also had done mushrooms for the first time in 4 years that morning.
Yeah.
So it was just like maybe that. For us, like maybe you were meant to do the mushrooms so you can be calmer. I'm like maybe. Who knows? I've never thought about things that way, but yeah, alhamdulillah, man. Really, yeah, called my brother, called my mom afterwards,
Mm-hmm.
just left a message. Yeah, it was weird. Eid was also, extremely weird. I like slept most of Eid. Like
Yeah.
I slept 5 hours in the middle of the
Yeah,
day.
you had like a big anxiety response. So
It was
after that, you're
cool.
gonna have to go sleep.
It was. Remember you had the movie Fight Club, where you like have a near life experience.
Yeah.
It was like it felt like something. So
Yeah.
alhamdulillah.
Damn.
Yeah, it's good. I think all's well that ends well, alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
So like I have a story to tell.
Yeah.
But I was like, I had a good set. I did. I was like, I got to call this, like I did some stuff that I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
And it always just making sense. Like, all right, yeah, I guess this,
It's
yeah.
the way how I exit.
Yeah, it was weird. It was weird. The next day, it was very weird waking up in the
It's
morning.
kind of surreal. Huh?
And the first argument my wife had with me, and I'll say why my wife had with me rather than the other way around.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, listen, I just died last night. Right? Like, what do you want to argue about nonsense? Just,
Yeah. It's hard for other people to realize what,
yeah,
You can try, but
it's true. But like for me, it was like a very life-changing, 40 minutes of being on the Gardiner. Time passes differently. It's a whole
Man,
lifetime on the Gardiner.
next time you see someone pulled over on the Gardiner, you're gonna feel something for that person like no other person.
Like it's like Ramadan. When you see hungry people, you're like,
yeah,
I know, dude. That's no joke.
Rough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your headaches, your like your stomach, your low energy. You can't even make smart decisions.
Yeah. I see a guy on the Gardiner, like, I hope he has a phone charger, because geez, that was not having a phone charger while that's happening is.
Bro, you gotta. There's some things you gotta. Do.
Oh, I
do
had
better.
multiple phone chargers. I was very upset when I bought spares. I have two in cars now.
Get a charge brick. Like,
I've been having all of that stuff. People need to stop. I felt like an old man, Trust me, I felt like what the stuff your dad says around the house probably about like I put places people die. Like if you don't,
yeah,
somebody
exactly.
moves his shit
It
around.
needs to be that you need to operate your life with that urgency.
Yeah,
That urgency is that. Definitely get some flares.
Yeah, man. Inshallah, dude. Inshallah.
Also, like, here's the thing, right? If you had the flares, right? Not only would you be safer,
I have a flare story, bro.
without a doubt, you would have a flare story, but then also Jurassic Park,
Dude,
baby.
totally.
Right?
Totally.
I mean, I've been waiting. I don't ever want to get into that position, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Right? You get at the one point when you light it, the first thing you're gonna think.
You'll hold it around a little bit.
Just a little bit, right?
Just a little bit.
Right? You had an opportunity. You kind of missed out
What
on
a
that.
scene.
Yeah.
It's probably one of their best scenes.
So memorable.
That movie had a bunch of good scenes, but the flare, good scene. Alhamdulillah, man.
Well, I'm glad that you're here.
Yeah, I don't even think we talked on Eid. I don't think.
No, we didn't.
I talked to your dad.
Yeah.
I talked to your dad every.
Yeah.
I was like, he's gonna call me if I don't call him for a. And then he called me, and I missed his call. And I called. him
I
back.
see. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
He's like, his car broke down. Like, yeah, I got the message. Sorry, I wasn't. I'm busy, bro.
No, I get it.
I'm
I didn't even
just,
tell. I didn't say like, hey. I mean, this is the first time I kind of told you about this one, but yeah, I wasn't. I've had my car broken down before, but like breaking down on the highway without a shoulder at night, but without a shoulder at night, and then having in a situation where cars just have to miss you, and you're just honking, flashing lights at them. It was surreal.
Yeah.
Beside the Scotiabank Arena.
Yeah, I can imagine
That
exactly
spot,
where you were.
it's right by where I used to live. It's 33 Bay, my old house. Farthest current work. I'm beside those two areas.
Yeah.
And then the next exit is where I used to live. It all was making sense in terms of, I was like, oh, okay. Well, I am comfortable here, I guess, is what I was thinking.
Bro, alhamdulillah.
Yeah, I should have called 911, actually, in hindsight.
I think you should have,
It's just my phone died right after CAA and me messaging my wife.
Right. So you kind of did it in the order that you could.
Oh, yeah.
And then, but next time, if you only have 3% left, it's 911.
Yeah,
I'm
probably.
stranded on the highway.
They might even have a charger.
Yeah.
Send a charger.
They
They're
sent a
like,
car.
Yeah, they sent a Ford Charger. I'm like, good enough. Does it have a charger? So yeah, roll it. If we're willing, right? That's basically it. I think that's what I've realized at 40 is when the government right now is saying like, oh, there's a threat to our, if the interest rates keep going this way, there might be a riot, and then they just bring the interest rate down. It's just like they can only control people until a point of absolute, discomfort. But like if people get, that's kind of the reason America operates the way it. we just leave here. We don't even love this country enough to stay and fix it. They don't even realize there's other countries to go to. So they're like, I'll pick up a gun. I'll shoot fucking anybody. It's such a different vibe.
Yeah.
But yeah, Canadians are used to taking things laying down. And then again, what is a Canadian, right? It's not a unified front of...
Not anymore. I mean,
I don't know.
Before I feel like I think there was a time right into the 90s. Maybe I'm biased because that's the time where I look back as the golden years because
I think that's
my childhood.
Yeah, but you didn't even know it.
But I felt like, late 90s into the 2000s, there was a delineation between what was a Canadian and what was everything else,
I think that is what you're saying. I think that's just you being a certain age.
Yeah.
Where, like make America great again. Everybody has a memory when it's just their youth.
I never thought that I was a Canadian though.
No, I know. But everybody feels like when their responsibilities are at this level and they're this young and their life is just, these small, like it just feels like, oh, that was a great time.
Yeah.
While in every way it might be a bad time.
Yeah.
But like if you're a certain age, people just always... That's such a weird thing because all societies almost have that. And it's has nothing to do with the society. It's just the age you're observing society.
Yeah. Breaking Points had a pretty good breakdown on every generation looks back at that segment in their life as being that's when the country was right. But it just means that you didn't know shit about your country, right? Because they were still doing crazy, shady shit back then,
right?
But you just didn't know it, and you thought that was all good. On Instagram, there's a lot of nostalgia videos now, and it's just like VHS footage of a mall with like a Byway and a Sears and a Zellers, and it makes you feel warm inside because that's how you remember it, and you're like, wow, this was when it was right, when things were okay.
And generally, it's when you're from ages X to X, where like your back doesn't hurt or your prostate isn't a thing about, right?
And the size and the weight.
Yeah, it's like your biggest problem is like, am I gonna get married? What's he gonna be like? It's just a very like. I don't hold it against anybody to have a nostalgic feeling, but it's just like this country was never, I'm sure it's been better. Let's just leave it at that in terms of.
You know what? Maybe it's never. I mean, yeah. I mean, it might. Look, there's things that were better, and there was things that were worse, and there was things that was worse back then.
Yeah.
Right. Like, no one's gonna tell you like the amount of racism that you might get now versus the amount of racism you got back in the 90s. It was different.
It was different.
It was stronger.
Yeah.
But now it's less because the amount of white people that that have like partaken in a Ramadan iftar or they've come to eat or whatnot, and all of a sudden they're like, well, these guys are not that bad, and then they've made a change in their life.
Say what you want, but having that one token guy in every show did pan off after 2 generations. They were like, but then again, back then you could buy a house for $300,000 and a car for $20,000 and a child's education for $12,000, and now it's just like there will be riots.
Yeah,
there will be blood.
I just wonder what's going to be like because you would think that so a government mandated medicine. I don't want to get this thing like more
I think you can say what you want to say. You make it sound like
no. It's just because like they automatically auto suppress certain words on the thing. So a governmentally mandated medicine that's like slowly coming out as being like proven that it's going to take years off of a subset of the population. I feel like that's enough to be like, hey, maybe we take some sticks and we go like and protest somewhere. Like, should you not have
right there, bro? You're Ontario and Eglinton.
I'm
around it.
I honk every time when I go by.
You got to go stand with them and make a fire. Trust me, you'll get deported. They don't even care where they'll send you.
They'll just send me back here.
Yeah, no, they won't send you back to Mississauga.
Where would they send me? I was born here.
That's what I'm saying. They'll just send you, bro. They'll just send you.
Bro, they're not sending nobody.
So
they're not sending,
when I was getting deported, they gave me the option of countries to go back to, and I wasn't born in those countries. It was weird. But when they're deporting you, not that you're going to get deported from going to a protest,
right,
but like sometimes when they're deporting you, they don't care where you go.
Yeah.
You don't have to go to you just go to any country that it's okay to deport you to, not the country where you have a passport to.
Yeah.
As a person who's almost been deported,
right?
Trust me, they're not trying to send you.
Was
back
there anywhere that was good on the list?
Of course not. What are you crazy?
Give me your options.
It was India, Pakistan, countries that have you can deport people to, and it's just like if you're in the UK,
Reverse extradition.
yeah. So if you're in the UK, they can deport you to Rwanda.
Rwanda, yeah.
No matter what part of Africa you're
That
from.
seems weird.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. That's
It
exactly
seems
what
really
I'm saying.
weird.
Because that's how little they give a shit.
Right, but Pakistan is not out of the they gave you Pakistan at least.
Well, you have a passport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, like,
but other places
that'd
like
be your number one.
Yeah, they were like there was an African country on there. I have no idea why,
Mm-hmm.
but that would be.
But the thing is that what if one of those were was good? South Africa is on the up and up. You go over there.
They don't do that.
You
brother.
start in the business.
Those countries specific. This is so funny. I'm like, no, they don't let you in. But if it's going well, they don't. Trust me, it's not because they're just letting in deportees from Canada and stuff.
I'm seeing great stuff coming out of Rwanda.
Mm.
Yeah, Rwanda is on a technological how do we say it's flourishing really well in Rwanda right now. Yeah, there's a lot of tech that's coming out from there, a lot of innovation that's coming out from there.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean,
there you go.
But it could be worse. It could be Congo.
No. I mean, trust me, you wouldn't enjoy being in Rwanda. I know it's like there's some clips and stuff, but it's still Rwanda, brother.
Yeah,
we have it way better than any I don't know. I have friends that I manage a person in Nigeria. I manage a person in South Africa, and there's positives, but
as a whole,
yeah, this is stupid.
Yeah,
even with the vaccine that might kill everybody,
it's still head and shoulders above.
Yeah, this place is gonna have its decline. When right now it's just you were asking when are we gonna protest? It's just like most people have houses, right?
Yeah,
that's not gonna be the case in 10 short years.
Yeah.
The majority of people won't have houses.
Yeah.
So you'll see it.
Yeah.
You'll see stabbings, more carjackings. You'll see fights over things that are physical. In Houston, that's when you actually hit a scarcity issue and research we're probably going to get there in hopefully 10 to 15, not sooner.
Did Houston get better? Is there any part that got better? I know you visited recently, and there were certain parts where you're like, "No, I don't like being here at all." It's the same.
That was my home.
Yeah.
So the worst places get worse, and the medium places get more diverse, and then eventually they'll have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, unless you innovate and there's somehow a new industry or something we can exploit to make more industry, it doesn't get better on its own. Frankly, we're still we're riding the wave of colonization. There's free land and free resources.
And even then, I drive everywhere and I'm like, dude, this country is really big. You're telling me it costs this much to make a house here?
Well, that's also because I don't know, man. I don't want to bore you, but you understand the overhead of creating a house is so much more than creating a house. They have to tax everything because we have the main area that the Canada has grown from a job perspective is government.
Yeah.
That's the main area.
That's so weird.
They can just create, a bureaucracy, and now they can hire 1,000, 10,000, 50,000 people, right?
Yeah.
And then you need a tax structure to support those jobs. It's not a revenue generating position that if you work for the government, generally speaking.
That's crazy, dude.
Right.
That's crazy.
So it's unemployment's gotten pretty crazy. Let's just make 50,000 jobs. What are we going to taxes? And then we don't have to pay those right now. We can put that on the next book.
Mm-hmm.
And then you rob Peter to pay Paul. More it's you rob your kid to pay for your, and that's how this country, I would say company, but these are businesses in a way. And that's how this country is functioning.
Yeah.
It's not going well.
Have you seen the predatory companies like BlackRock, what they've done to Red Lobster and then multiple other companies before that?
No.
So I don't know I don't know the exact specifics, but essentially BlackRock, they're buying the land underneath these companies, and then they're hiking things up, so it makes it that they wouldn't be able to sustain. So they're essentially buying out small businesses and then making them into conglomerates, and then just offering a shittier version of whatever it is that they purchase, because at the end of the day, they just want the money. And apparently the FBI is starting to make a case, an antitrust case against this, because apparently the straw that broke the camel's back was fucking Red Lobster. They're like, hey, you can't just keep buying things from underneath people.
Yeah. What's so interesting how much power companies have,
dude,
because once you understand the math and the strategy, it's so easy to execute if you have enough money. And if you outlive these cycles that small business can defend itself.
Yeah.
So
And most of them can't. And most of them, a lot of people just start businesses so that they can sell it to a bigger business and they have their exit strategy. But like just doing that over and over again essentially just means that there's only one person at the top, or like three people at the top, three companies at the top that make all of your decisions for you.
that monopoly thing is a real thing. Is that like it wants organizations, especially like hedge funds, which can kind of do anything they want. When they get big enough, they can buy anything.
Anything.
And then
because
they start buying.
because there's some people who are sitting there going like, I can't make ends meet or whatever, and here's a paycheck. All your problems go away. Now it could be this is
The best case scenario is they pay you.
right. No, I mean to say that, or they just they make your life a living hell until you sell it well underneath. But what I mean to say is that like there's multiple ways for them to leverage the GDP of multiple countries for them to do what they want to do in a country, such as like United States.
Yeah, I mean, I'm most worried about just these banks and hedge funds just buying up land and housing,
Yeah,
right? Because that's
and farms.
exactly
food.
the essentials: land, farm, housing, medicine. There's like 5 utilities. Water is scarce in parts of England where the cost of just running water is stupid.
Dude, I watched a documentary on Flint.
Okay.
And I haven't finished it yet, but the amount of corruption that needs to happen for people to get poisoned with the water and people dying at incredible rates. There was this one guy, he's like, I talked to my neighbor, she died of 5 cancers. Then I went up the street and I talked to this other person, and that person died just last year for another 3 cancers. The weirdest cancers possible. In like the smallest I think it went up like 150 something percent. Like something so egregious. No one is in jail.
Almost as a person, like the only option is for you to move. It's not to
You have no recourse. You have no way to get justice. You have no way to even hold a single person accountable for the death of your kid, your mom, your whatever. You have nothing.
Right. And you don't have Aaron Brockovich. You can write Julia Robertson a letter. That's about it. Right?
Yeah.
But also, like, historically, these industries and governments have been, none of this is new.
This has just been.
But what do you do? It's just like, I think you move.
Yeah.
Right? Like.
Yeah, I think you move.
I think you have to move.
Yeah, because that's the only thing you can do to take care of yourself. Unless, again, a riot. Like everyone goes and storms a building.
And then? Play it out. I want to hear it.
I mean, I don't know. Why you challenge me like this?
Because you're the one like, unless riot. And like,
no,
let me talk to me.
Did you not say at the beginning that a government does something as long as they can keep control of their people?
Yeah.
And once when they lose control of their people is
Right.
when maybe some positive change can happen. So that's what I was trying to say.
But we're 40.
Yeah.
I'm not going to a riot.
Yeah.
Riots aren't good for us when we have property. Right? Like riot is
Yeah,
a young man's game.
Okay. That's what I was saying. But I was just mirroring an earlier point that
And
we were speaking.
you're not making a bad point. It's just like
Oh,
we're
no, I
older
didn't-
than I think moving is a better option than like,
Yeah.
you know what we need? Something on fire. Which I wish that wasn't the thing, but it's like they aren't, well, how many ways do we have to make a point? You
Yeah.
can talk.
No, it's fine. What's his? Jaylen Brown had a cool question that they asked him with regards to what is he doing with his like. I think he's got the biggest contract, right? Maybe, or is it true?
Probably not. He's not even.
I thought that was the way how they was labeled, but nonetheless, not an important part. It's a sizable contract.
Yeah.
And they asked him what he was planning to do with his money, and man, he had a really good answer for what he was planning to do. Right, essentially invest in the people in his community. But he said this thing: he's like, I'm trying to bring Black Wall Street back. I was like, that's cool, man. That is that like this dude had like a real solid vision on how he was going to leverage his money.
Yeah. And
it wasn't, it could very well be buy mom a car, buy mom a house, take care of my family and whatnot. I'm sure he's doing all of those things, but he had big ideas with what he was going to do.
He's also like an unusually smart cat where he's got like, he was honor roll. I'm too dumb to tell you what smart people do with their educational credentials.
Okay.
But he, graduated the top 10 of his class. Most basketball players aren't graduating anywhere near. Their youngest vice president of the National Basketball Players Association.
Mhm.
Like he's a super duper smart and thoughtful. He won the MVP last night for the NBA Finals.
Yeah. I saw.
So yeah, I also feel like they blurred when he said Alhamdulillah. I'm pretty sure. I feel like they muted him for half a second, but I'm gonna go look up that later. But yeah, he's like one of him, Shane Battier. Some of these players are so well-rounded, you know.
Yeah.
I probably would be less well-rounded because it's just like so much money. But like, it's good to see a dude just be like, he's well-spoken, he's
Yeah.
intelligent, he's doing shit.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I think sometimes you need just an honest person who has a lot of money who says like, no, we're gonna keep things honest, right, at the top, where he fears a greater power, so he's trying to do a good thing for his community, and he already has the money, he's already rich and whatnot. Then hopefully he doesn't get corrupted ultimately.
Yeah, all of these guys have like we were just saying, like Jaylen Brown maybe isn't the top 10 highest paid player, but if you're in the top 50 of the highest paid players, it's just like you have a $200 million contract over 4 to 6 years. It's
Good money.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's good money.
And then over here, we're like, water's expensive.
I'd like to see it. I think at some point, like way back in the day, I had this hope that Elon Musk was going to be that, where like a person who seemed somewhat detached from human emotion and was only looking at things not politically but for the betterment of humankind. And those earlier podcasts hit me different, with how he speaks and what he was talking about back then. I'm not saying that he might not even have shifted what he says that he centers his efforts on.
Yeah.
It might not have changed, but the method in which and the talking points along the way and the tweets along the way and the decisions along the way, especially in the last 6 months, it has shifted my opinion on him dramatically. Whereas I don't think that you're that dumb that you believe certain propaganda. I think that you're just doing it because you're keeping certain things afloat. You have companies that you want to keep afloat. And I wouldn't fault someone for that generally, but I thought he was already a smart enough person to know that if you start getting beholden to all of these people, then you're gonna have to play a certain game. And everyone was comparing this guy to Tony Stark, right? And the reason why they compared him for it, apart from the fact that he's incredibly intelligent, smart, is that he had money and he had the smarts for him to be able to operate in a way that he wanted to, and he could say F you to, other big companies or governments or whatnot. And he said, no, I'm just going to do it this way. This is the right way to do it. That's the reason why the comparisons were there. But it turns out it's not quite. And I don't know what happened along the way, but I had the hopes that it was going to go one way, but it didn't go that way.
Maybe it's the guys good at launching businesses and running them in a certain model. But when it comes to the pressures of the things he's dealing with, maybe he's just actually I didn't realize you would crumble or crack or like you're saying, bow down to these things. Launching tech companies, maybe,
But he's a good engineer. His brain is a good one. And especially I remember the first ones where he would be asked an engineering question and he just doesn't answer just no, we can't do that, or he doesn't give a surface question, a surface answer. His answer is based on an analytical thinking of X, A, B, C.
Totally.
It's very organized. And his engineering,
and that's what he's good at in launching businesses, but not the stuff that you don't like him for is not his. If that was a special type of autism,
but that would have been the part and parcel with the moniker of Tony Stark.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
that was what
that's what we wanted.
That's what you wanted.
What we all wanted,
right? So, for example, I'll give you an example:
a fictional character with all the money in the world,
the Hyperloop, right? And I don't know if there's still plans to do it and whatnot. I know he's got the Boring Company and he's doing the things like that. And also, there was one aspect of Tesla in the fact that big oil companies did sabotage the development of electric cars, and so for us to see him succeed in moving electric cars from like a joke, essentially, to something that's viable, to something that's now people buy this car because it's like they don't.
It's a nice car.
It's
They don't even buy it because it's just like all the features of it.
yeah, and like there's also a status involved as well,
definitely.
right? It's become like a Mercedes or a Beamer and whatnot, and a lot of people just tap into that. That's the reason why I do it. Now, I don't care what people do, but what's cool is that he was able to get it to a place where it had that value, right? Despite the fact that it's shittily built car. As far as automotive quality control is,
It breaks down.
it's very bad, right? Like just regular stuff, the paint, the clear coat, the panel, the body panel spacings are very close. They pinch each other sometimes when you open the door. The handles break all the time. There's multiple things within the car that break or fray or break down much quicker than any other car out there. So it's not good. But so is a McLaren. Like a McLaren is a cheaply built car, but very fast and awesome, and they got a Formula One team. Anyway, asides the point, he did that. It's almost like he fought big oil, right? Like that's what it felt like. And it was like, yeah, that was the first feather in the cap of like, all right, we're doing this because this is better for the planet. It turns out electric cars completely and putting all cars on the grid is not something that's sustainable. You wouldn't be able to get to that point. That vision is not the correct vision.
It seems like just getting it off the ground, it was a massive humanitarian mistake, right? Like,
And then the amount of oil that's used up to make them too. The offset only happens like 6 years into
also
using
the
it.
misery correlated with creating a battery is geez, like if like this government mandated in Canada, like all vehicles have to be, I know they're going to miss those targets and whatnot, but the amount of suffering that goes into getting
Just hitting that close to that target,
it's
or
just
trying to get to
like,
there.
yeah. I mean,
But those
don't you
mandates,
want an environment?
to your point,
Yeah.
right? It's so apparent now that the government's making these decisions, without really having a good understanding of what that is.
If we're going to talk, I mean, going back to our earliest conversation, is government stupid as, but it makes me
So
also
dumb,
question
dude.
like most governments,
Yeah,
and
that's
what
the
we
problem.
know and don't know. Cause I'm like, I like Chrétien.
Yeah.
I was 15. I had no idea what he does. I'm like, I heard he punched a guy,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
and now it's just like
The old immigrants speak highly of Chrétien.
yeah, I wonder, man.
Yeah,
How much did they know?
My dad
either?
was like, he's a good guy. He was. They will never make another one like him, like they're talking about JFK.
Hey, man. And that might be true. Maybe, like some of those guys were
Yeah.
unique.
Yeah.
Whatever their strengths are, like even Jimmy Carter, very, very unique in terms of what he cared about and stuff. He's also a farmer.
Wait, he didn't take like PAC money essentially. He didn't take big corporation money. He kept it hella simple, bro.
There's this really cool story of when Jimmy Carter insisted, when he got into office, he insisted on learning and trying to declassify all the alien stuff because he had a alien encounter as a kid at a farm, right?
Okay, awesome. That's where they happen.
Of course they do. Like, so apparently, like he found out what the truth is around aliens, and he sat there and he cried for like X amount of hours and
Okay.
stuff. He's a deeply religious man,
Uh-huh.
and then you can just speculate after that in terms of why.
Yeah, wasn't what's his name was saying Carlson?
Randall Carlson?
No. There's he was the guy on Fox. He was a he was what
Tucker?
Thank you. And he was making some sort of connection between aliens and religion as well.
You know what? I didn't see that one, but I heard that Tucker. I didn't even see a clip, but yeah, I think he was saying that
Yeah.
we were maybe made by, or aliens have come in and helped us
Right.
set a guideline of what, how we should be doing things and stuff. And
I
they
wonder what Jimmy Carter saw.
made the man cry, man. Made that guy cry.
Yeah.
So,
Damn.
yeah.
I mean, do you think he read stuff that invalidated his own religion, or
Yeah, that's what I think. I think that's what everybody thinks that looked into it.
really? Eh?
Yeah. That seems to be a common theme the closer you get to talking to people who look at this long enough, is that it invalidates the creation of religion or certain stories certain miracles, and it depresses the shit out of people. So
So he closed the books. So he got it. He read it. He's like, you know what? We're keeping this closed. Is that the way how that goes?
apparently, if it seems dangerous to get out and like mass population wouldn't be able to handle something, a lot of things get closed down, and that's a tough one because it's like.
Didn't that Trump do that too for the JFK shooting? Like it was supposed to get opened during his.
That's a similar one in a way where like I know it's not aliens, but it's just like it would corrode the American public's faith in their government to know that they'll kill a Democratic elected president.
Yeah, but dude, it's not good right now.
It's not kill your president bad, but yeah,
but it there seems to be an overall trend where it's like more and more people are going, hey. It doesn't seem like you're doing the best for the country, for the people.
Yeah, whenever the economy keeps declining, that's because even when China's like super hyper controlled, I can see your face even with a mask on it. People are like, all right, we're building condos.
Right,
like,
money's coming in.
We're getting to travel.
Yeah.
No, it's almost like people don't mind those negatives as long as, you can...
Take care of your family.
Yeah, exactly.
You can do the things that you
But when
need to
it
do.
starts going south, you're like, hey... I'm going to walk in front of a tank with a plastic bag and see what happens.
Oh, my God.
So
what a picture.
It's what you were saying earlier, riots.
Yeah.
At some point, and that guy is not 40 with a kid. I'm just like, I want, you want that, but you're like, it's not the right time for me to do, to see tanks.
You were talking about anarchy a few episodes ago.
Yeah, it's just like, I'm 40, dude. I got a kid.
I will organize the anarchy.
Girl. Yeah.
For you?
Have the anarchy,
somewhere else
in Ottawa. And we watch it on TV.
We need a go bag. We need a go country.
What do you mean?
Go bag, like when on the first sight of panic, you grab the bag and everything you need there to sustain yourself for a short amount of time.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, I made one of those. It's just not. It's not good enough. It's like one bag of rice, one burner.
What we need is a go country.
They're all taken. I hear there's some space right in the middle of the North Pole. Have you heard about this? That the North Pole has a...
Are they still doing like, as if you build a house on it, you can own the land?
No. But I hear there's like a tropical area in the middle of the North Pole.
Yeah. I think
I'm sure there isn't, but I like the...
I think you've been lied to.
I wish there was. We should go there and like colonize that thing.
Yeah, I got to figure out, what tanker ships go to Mauritius. Just put myself and my family in a container.
I think an island would be a good spot.
And just put myself and my family in a container, and then just, a month trip, and even if you don't land in Mauritius, you land in Madagascar. Cool, we can sort it out.
Man, that's so interesting that you know what the area better than I do, but I'm like, I wouldn't be heading to Africa if things go south.
I think I think if everything is going south everywhere, I'd rather just rock in Mauritius for a while.
I'm with you
until it reaches me, and then. Yeah. You're like, all right.
I thought those places are already... They would plummet faster than us, but like, who knows? Maybe it just gets,
I mean, I didn't see a single... Like, every year I go, there's less and less, like, homeless people and beggars and everything else. Like, it's...
I wonder what they're doing with them.
I don't know, but it seems like...
Something.
Yeah. And also, the thing is that I think, like, as per my family is saying that there's not that many poor people to give money for. A long time ago, like during, Ramadan and stuff like that, where you're doing your zakah and you're doing your stuff, there used to be a portion that you would give within their country. In fact, my parents also would be sending money into Mauritius as well to help the poor people in Mauritius.
Right.
They don't need it.
Good, man.
Right.
Mashallah.
So it's going to now. It's like all donation money comes out of Mauritius into other Muslim countries. So there's a little bit less over there. Now I'm not saying it's all good, but what I'm saying is that what I'm saying is that it's a little better than whatever else we see.
Yeah. No. It's also like there was this game called Pandemic. It was a game, and basically you would engineer a virus, and you can make your virus either airborne, contact, spread, or like these 7 things. And Mauritius would be the hardest. That's the first time I heard about Mauritius. It was like, why can't I get this island? Because as soon as it goes airborne, borders get locked down. So it's just like, it needs to be on ship on rats. But if they catch that, so Mauritius might be the way to go.
Yeah,
as long as there's no tsunamis or stuff.
I mean, we got mountains, dude. We got mountains. You know what I'm saying? Tsunami comes, it's just gonna crash on some of the coastal mountains. You're good
I'm
to
with
go.
you. Yeah, and if it's any bigger than those, then like
You were done anyway.
You were done anyways, right? Who's trying to outlive that, right? Like,
Yeah, it's
if I'm on top of the volcano, you get me, you got me.
yeah,
We're good.
That's true. Because also the volcano's not off.
Nice, nice. So we go to the active island. And let's see what happens.
Yeah. Official term for our volcano is dormant, but not off, not dead.
Yeah, Iceland has some popping right
Yeah.
now.
No, those are active, bro.
Those are so active. You can
Iceland,
see
I love
river flow.
Iceland because Iceland's land seems to constantly remind we're still building,
Yeah.
right? We just recently built most of this thing, and we still building.
Yeah. I was like, why aren't there more cities? And like, well, this area is kind of stable, and the rest, it gets on fire every now and then.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy how many people. I know it's only like 400,000 people, but it's pretty cool. Like, you're gonna do that around so many volcanoes.
I didn't think you could get like I don't know about populations or whatnot, but I didn't know you could get such an organized and clean and fully running society on 400,000 people.
Dude.
Like
Yeah.
cars, gas, electricity coming from the earth. I know, but whatever. Like all of it, and everything just runs. Everyone's happy. Everyone's nice. Like I didn't think that you could, with only 400,000 people in your country, you could make it go well.
Yeah. They've got some advantages. Like they apparently harness
For the whole thing.
the gas, whatever that gas is.
No, geothermal.
Geothermals.
Yeah.
That's why it smells like eggs all the time.
Bro.
But all they have is gyms and happy people, and they've got 2 movie theaters, 1 comedy play. They just seem to have, basically the basics of what you need.
What else do you need? 400,000.
I think people are born there, they go to school, and then they just go to Europe. They all go to Europe.
Yeah.
Europeans travel constantly because you don't even have to have a passport for
you just show up everywhere.
Yeah. Oh, I'm from Italy. I can go to Greece.
Yeah.
We don't do. If you're from India, you can't go to Pakistan.
Yeah. Yeah. The Europeans, well, they were all kind of white. So at some point after they stopped some infighting,
Right.
let's work together.
Yeah. To some point, it's like American states,
Yeah.
kind of, right?
Yeah. There's just like general pride, but there's nothing to be like, I'll never work with a New Yorker.
Right. No.
No,
it's true.
like, I'll never work with a Texan. Oh, actually, we should end this so that we can do another podcast.
Sure.
So I'm trying to figure out. I want to get instead of a sling bag, I want to get a bag that's attached to my chest.
Okay.
Just for like if I'm going for a hike or something, I just don't want a sling bag thing or a backpack. Or you can have a backpack, but I want something on my chest to carry as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so turns out, people who make chest rigs are generally people who are into military, right? And a lot of these chest rigs are designed in such a way for you to carry at least one pistol concealed carry, right?
Nice.
So I wanted one. It's American built, so it's going to be a good quality bag, right? So I called and tried to place an order, and I watched the YouTube videos, and all of these guys seem like dudes who love the backcountry, love hunting, a good cup of coffee, and guns, right? This is what they do. This is what they love.
Mad American.
Dude, so nice on the phone. Their customer service is probably just more of that, right? And there was a problem with the order, and just the niceness in which they dealt with me and try to figuring out the situation. I'm like, man, gun people. I know not all gun people are like this, but I mean, backcountry gun dudes seem like really nice. Yes, sir. No, sir. Whatever. I know but I don't know. He doesn't know my skin color, but I was just like, hey, man, I feel like it would be cool to hang out with you and learn how to hunt and some shit.
Some of those people are great.
Yeah.
Other people,
not so weird.
It's a weird spectrum.
Yeah.
Like, this is good customer service. This person hates everybody that is brown or gay or Muslim.
Right. Yeah.
Like, we're not even the same, dude. There's too much to hate.
Right.
Tone this down.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
But in my mind,
I tried at Greens. I had a great customer service. Like, I had something go wrong, and they're just like, "We'll email you them. Don't even worry. We'll take care of it."
Yeah.
It's like, thank you.
it's like Amazon with the returns. Have you seen? There's so many bits now on. Have you seen any comedy bits on Amazon returns? dude, it's already been pillaged, so we can't even do content about that. But like the joke goes that Amazon is so disrespectful with the returns now. They're so big, they make so much money. They don't give a shit. They don't care what. You're like, hey, I'd like to return, and just throw you the return slip. Return it. We don't give a shit. Here's your money.
Here's 18 bubbles. It could be any one of these. Some of those bubbles don't even make sense.
You're right. Shut up. Stop emailing us. Just return.
Dude, I like it.
Yeah, I like the attitude. Yeah.
Because that way you could just keep buying stuff, and then it's very irresponsible if I think about it. But
it's not great. It's not great for the environment. I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of things that are being violated.
I ordered a deodorant stick. It came in a box this big, where I thought other stuff came in because I ordered a book and other stuff, but it was just a deodorant stick in this box that can hold 50.
Yeah.
And
I feel like that was because they've done pretty good now with regards to the thing. I think that was a guy who was just at the end of the shift. He's like, "You want your stick of deodorant?
You want to see something funny? This guy's gonna get a kick out of it. I'm gonna send him this in this huge box. He's gonna shake it. He's gonna say, "No way, it's just this."
Yeah.
It could you gotta make your own fun.
You gotta make your own fun. People, this has been episode 449.
449.
Thank you for hanging with us. We'll be back in a week. Take care of yourselves. Good night.